gonna be fun. You guys are already rowdy. I gotta tell you real quick, my name is Matt Bingham from 96.5 The Fox. I will be your host for this evening. Hey, how's it going? We've got a great night of comedy for you, a lot of good stuff coming up. We had an absolute blast last night here at Dakota Stage, and we're thinking, just from the noise that I heard out in the lobby, this show is going to be a whole hell of a lot better than that, am I right? All right, well, the beer is very good. All right, before we get the show started, once again, my name is Matt. You can hear me on 96.5 The Fox every weekday afternoon from 2 until 7, also 96.5thefox.com, so feel free to check that out. We've got some things to cover before the show gets started. First and foremost, cell phones. Real quick, please make sure they are turned off, silent, whatever you're gonna do. You don't want to be the asshole whose phone goes off in the middle of Jason or Dan's set. So, whatever you gotta do, make sure you turn off your cell phones and leave them on silent throughout the duration of the show. Secondly, just mentioned it, there is beer, there is wine, there are concessions out in the lobby. And before the show even started, we had to go get more beer, so congratulations, guys. Beer and wine out in the lobby. Also got concessions, snacks, soda, whatever you guys are looking for. You will find it out there. Don't forget to check out DakotaStageLTD.com. That's where you will find the schedule of events coming up. There's more comedians. There's one in March. There's one in April. We also have a flashback film coming up at the end of the month. 16 Candles, so you can relive your high school years, relive the 80s on the big screen here at Dakota Stage. So it is Valentine's Day weekend. Guys in the audience, you gotta be excited about that, because you're at least guaranteed to finally get laid this weekend, right? That's gotta be a bonus. Plus, one guy's like, no, it's still not gonna happen, man. And you know what? Not getting laid is definitely not the worst thing that can happen to your dick and balls now. You got cancer. Cancer sucks. You've got STDs. I heard those are a thing, I guess. I really don't know. I don't worry about it. If it happens, right? Just go out there throwing my dick and stuff. I don't care. You can get your balls caught in a fence. I don't know if you know that. You can actually get your balls caught in a fence. And the story I'm about to tell you, I wish it was a lot better, but I wish there was an exciting part to it where I said I was having a late night tryst with a married woman, and the husband came home and I had to run naked through the backyard and scale a fence and got tangled up in my dick and barbed wire, and the firefighter had to come and cut me down, and we fell in love, and I wish that was the story I was about to tell you. The story I'm about to tell you is much more embarrassing because it happened in high school, and I did in fact get my balls caught in a fence. I was about 16 or 17 years old. I just got home from prom, about 5 in the morning, and I would love to tell you guys that I was out having this crazy high school orgy with weed and beer, and it was insane, but I was a fucking loser in high school, so that's not what happened. I think we went to a 24-hour diner and had like breakfast, and then I just came home. So got home about 5 in the morning, decided I needed a glass of water before bed, so took off my tux and I went to go get a glass of water. Obviously the story's much better than me just getting a glass of water. My folks, when I was growing up, they had a pet store and they had a shitload of dogs. And if you have a shitload of dogs, you want to keep them in a certain area. You don't want them running the house. So my folks had one of those fences you get to keep like pets in one room or kids out of a room, out of a kitchen, right? Well, we'll say dick high, right? You see where this is going. So I go get my glass of water. It's me and my boxers. I'm about 100 pounds lighter than I'm right now. This was 15, 16 years ago. As I'm going over the fence, pretend the microphone is my balls. I know it's much blacker than they probably are, but just pretend. As I go over the fence, my balls fall out of my boxer shorts. Which is, makes you feel awesome, but then I felt a pinch. And any guy in this room knows that you're not supposed to feel a pinch on your balls ever. So I knew something was up, but I kept going. I was like, I'm gonna motor through this, I don't care what's going on, I'm getting that glass of water. The fence decided I wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't one of those child-proof fences that's plastic and like kids bounce off them and they're cool. It was the 90s, it was a fucking wood, metal fence, and I somehow got my scrotum attached to the metal bracket on the fence. And you're laughing. And I wish I could have laughed at the same time, but as I took my momentum to go over into the kitchen, I was held to where I was. I was stuck to the fence. So in my head, the first thing I started thinking is, well, I really haven't had the chance to use my dick and balls all that much. I don't want to lose them right now to a fence. That would suck. So I decided, all right, well, I need to go to I need to stop what I'm doing. I need to not go any farther. This is the end. Fuck the water. I'm going to sleep. Then I start thinking, like, what do I do now? I'm stuck to this fence. Do I need stitches? There's blood. I don't know. Ladies, I know you're used to blood down there. Guys, that's not something we're used to. You see blood on your dick and you're fucking terrified. That was what I was, at 16 years old, fucking terrified, because my dick and balls were now covered in blood from being attached to a fence. So like, well, do I tell my parents? Do I need to go see a doctor? It's not, again, it's the late 90s. I can't Snapchat a photo to my buddies. Hey, check it out, my balls are caught on the fence. Like, I don't know what to do. Plus, high school kids, I don't know if you know this, high school kids are assholes. Absolute assholes. If I tell any of my buddies that I got my balls caught to a fence, I'm 31 years old. I'd still be the guy who got his balls caught on a fence. I would never live that fucking thing down. Everybody in this room has somebody from high school that they know did something real stupid, like drank a bottle of piss accidentally at a party. And that guy, that poor bastard, is known as the dude who drank a bottle of piss, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna bottle up this shame of me getting caught in a fence. I'm gonna pack it up in like toilet paper and I'm going to sleep. And I never spoke about this incident for like 2 years. 2 years I kept this shame bottled up, down. Like, I'm not telling a fucking soul that this ever happened. And what's funny is I'm taping this tonight, and I don't think my folks have ever heard this story, so when I post it to Facebook, this is gonna be awesome. But like 2 years later, I'm working in a supermarket, and ladies, I don't know if you know this, but for some reason, guys like to just kind of dick tap each other from time to time, just as you're walking by, just a quick little nudge in the dick. I don't know why. But I was at a supermarket working, and this happened to a kid that I worked with, and he's like, man, that's the worst pain ever, this fucking sucks. He fell to the ground crying, whatever. And I don't want to be a one-up or anything, but there's really not much else you can say when you get your balls caught in a fence. If you tell a dude, you think that's bad, try being attached to a fence, and there's nothing that guy can say after getting popped in the dick. Like, that's the end-all be-all, is getting stuck to this fence. So, thank you guys for letting me get that off my chest. I know it's been a few years, so I appreciate that. Valentine's Day weekend, I guess it's all right for me. It's not terrible, because I'm now single. Recently split up with a girl I was doing a long-distance thing, but she liked having sex with me, and on the list of stuff that I look for in a girl, number one is likes to have sex with me. Like, everything else doesn't matter, right? Like, as long as she likes to have sex with me, I'm on board. I'm good with it. She was from Ohio, so deduct points there. That state fucking sucks. She came to visit me here in North Dakota. We went to the Badlands and all this stuff, and as much as this chick liked to have sex with me, she didn't enjoy performing oral sex. Like, flat out, when we started dating, she said, I'm not into it. I don't do it. Not my thing. I'm 31 years old. I know what it feels like to get my dick sucked. I get it. Like, I'm 31. If it doesn't happen again, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. So we're driving back to the Badlands. We're exchanging sex stories. And she tells me about just randomly blowing some dude in college. And the wheels start turning in my head. I'm like, wait a second. You said you don't do that. I'm dating you. And now you're telling me that you're blowing random dudes in college. Like, this doesn't compute with me. I don't like where this is going. So I decided I'm going to ask, why don't you do it? What's the issue? And she could have come up with a myriad of things to say. She could have said, I choked on one once and I'm just out. I'm done. She could have said, my mouth is really small and it kind of hurts. Like, I mean, there are a myriad of things she could have said. She literally could have said, I just don't like it. And I would have been on board like, okay, well, whatever. What she did say was the absolute worst fucking thing she could have said. And I quote, I sucked so much dick in college, I'm just kind of over it. It took every ounce of my being not to hit the brakes on that goddamn car and kick her ass out at Salem Sioux and make her walk her ass back to Bismarck. And I'm trying to figure out, like, wrap my head around this logic. Wait a second. So you're just blowing random dudes. I'm here. You come to visit me in North Dakota. You're not going to do it for me. Like, listen, I dig burritos. Burritos are awesome. I've eaten a lot of burritos in my time. If a new burrito stand comes to town, I'm not going to be like, well, I've had so many burritos, I'm not going to eat another burrito. Burritos are delicious. They're meant to be eaten. That's what you do. So why am I paying the penalty for you sucking so much dick in college? I have to put up with your bullshit 10 years later. 10 years I have to put up for it. You're sucking random dick in college. That's not nice. That is very rude. My name is Matt Bingham. Again, we've got a great show for you tonight. Jason James will be up in just a little bit, but first, from Minneapolis, 2014 finalists in the Twin Cities Funniest Person Contest, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dan Mogul.